go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. As always, I'm joined by the Masters crew, Dynasty Al, the Doc. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing great, Commish.
Good to hear, man. Two guys that I respect in the fantasy game. I've been going through the trades all week, hand-selected a few. We're going to bring them to you guys. First trade in this one. First trade popping up on your screen is going to be Joe Mixon, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee, and a future one for Zeke, Claypool, Mark Andrews, and the 2.4. Your guys' thoughts on which side you'd rather have?
So, like a lot of the players in the steal, I'm going to lean the Zeke, Claypool, and Andrews side. Reason being is I do still value Zeke more than Mixon, although I love Joe Mixon. I do value Claypool more than Odell just because of the age and potential upside long term. And then obviously Andrews over Higbee. I know there's a future first on that side. The 2.4 is not too bad either, so I'm going to stick with the Zeke, Claypool, Andrews side.
Yeah, I'm with Al on this one. Zeke and Mixon's really close for me, but other than that, I have Claypool and Andrews over Odell and Higbee by a pretty substantial margin there. And the picks just kind of are thrown in. So I'm going to go with Zeke and Claypool and Andrews for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, too. And as much as I want Odell to turn it around and be the Odell, I seen something today, like, strength of schedule, like by fantasy position, has the Cleveland Browns ranked as the toughest at the wide receiver, 32 out of 32.
That's funny, too, because I'm pretty sure they're the easiest for running back.
Wow.
I think Nick Chubb was like the easiest strength of schedule this year.
Yeah, a lot of Chubb and maybe not too much Beckham this year.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, and I don't necessarily care about that. But, I mean, it matters a little bit when Odell's already not quite living up to what we want him to be.
Right, absolutely.
And in a running offense, just add that. All right, next trade popping up on your screen here. We got, and I swear I didn't pick Joe Mixon for all these, by the way.
This is Joe Mixon week. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is the first Najee Harris trade here, though.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
Wow.
Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Adam Thielen in a 1 for Najee Harris, Allen Robinson, Cortland Sutton. Your guys' thoughts on which side you'd rather be on this one?
That's interesting.
I'm going to go with Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Thielen in the first. The fact that you get that future first, I think it helps recover some of the long-term value because obviously Derrick Henry, is in the super prime of his career. Adam Thielen's, on the decline. Joe Mixon, I think, entering his prime. But to get that future first, so I think both short and long-term, ton of value on that side. That side can win you a league right now. The other side I do like a lot, really like Najee, like A-Rob, like Sutton, but I think the one side's a league winner.
Yeah, I think I'm on that same side, too, just because I agree. Right now, like 1 year, 2 years, you've got a prime opportunity to win your league, adding Mixon, adding Derrick Henry. And in all honesty, too, Najee, his worst years might be his first and second year just because of how bad their offensive line is and things of that nature, even though I still think he'll be productive this year and next year. But, yeah, A-Rob, you could make the same argument. With all the new quarterbacks coming in, he might not have his best season, too. So, long term, you could make the argument for Najee, but I'm going to go with Henry and Mixon and bank on a win.
That's interesting because I actually look at it just the opposite. I think Najee's first year might be his best year.
From a PPR, I could see him getting a lot of catches more so this year than next year, but I also think it's going to be tough to come by rushing yards and goal line carries, things like that. I mean, their offensive line is putrid.
Which I can see, but I think that's why, they relied so heavily on Big Ben last year.
Yeah.
And I think Big Ben, commands enough control with those 3 great wide receivers that I think he'll kind of create running lanes on himself. I'm actually more worried about Najee once Big Ben is gone. But we'll see.
That's fair.
That's just a thought I had. Because I'm actually calling him Rookie of the Year for me. Najee Harris. I mean, I'm penciling it in.
I think he very well could be. But I don't know. Like, I could see him doing really well PPR-wise, but I could also see him having, a bit of a flop season just because of how bad their own line is.
Yeah. And see, I'll be honest. Like, the O-line, I just look at them as all, like, big fat guys that block big fat guys.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we had Joe Thomas here for 10 years in the NFL, and everybody kept telling me he was like the greatest offensive lineman ever, except, I mean, we couldn't run, pass, block, or do anything. So.
Yeah, I will say they had like Villanueva and Pouncey and DeCastro, and like when those guys were in their prime, that's a heck of an offensive line. But I mean, I'm pretty sure Pouncey and Villanueva are gone, and now
Yeah.
you're stuck with DeCastro and a bunch of no-names at this
Yeah.
point. I don't know who else they've added, but, I mean, yeah, it's not great, especially when those guys didn't look great last year anyways.
Right.
The Doc, I think his new nickname might be the Professor. Putrid.
Putrid.
Yeah, that was.
Thank you.
I had
Yeah.
to I looked up the definition.
Pulled out
I don't even know
the thesaurus
yeah.
for this one, yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, putrid, decaying or rotting and emitting a fetid smell.
Yeah, gross.
Man.
So that offensive line is putrid down
Thank
Pittsburgh.
you, thank you, yeah.
Yeah, I would not want to be in that locker room with
Oh,
those
Oh,
guys.
gosh, yeah.
All right, and then the last trade of this episode popping up on your screen. And then after this, guys, will be the trade montage. Bunch of good trades I saved up for this week. We got Aaron Jones in a round 1 for Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the 1.5. Your guys' thoughts on this trade?
Give me Clyde. And the pick.
Yeah, give me Clyde. Ooh,
I think I would do that even with Aaron Rodgers staying in Green Bay. I honestly do. 1.5
I think
and
it-
Clyde going forward.
It's
I
very
like that a lot.
close. I actually think most trade calculators would take the Aaron Jones
I
side
think so, too.
Probably would,
because Aaron
yeah.
Jones' ADP, I believe, is higher right now in Dynasty. But I want the Clyde side too. And the 1.5 this year, $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow.
Yeah, and I'm with you, man. And to speak on like Dynasty trade calculators, just to bring it up, like all three of us, I think would all rather have Clyde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure any trade calculator would take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I just don't rely on them at all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this edition. Thank you so much for watching. Right before we. Thank you so much for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button. If you're looking for a place to play Dynasty football, MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. We got over 600 leagues. Never folded a single one. Never intend to. Would love you to have you come be part of the Masters family. Any last words, guys?
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for
thank you.
listening.